All right, I wanted to cover briefly an order of operations example. Got another video that kind of goes over a brief overview of exactly what order of operations is. This one I just want to work out a quick problem here. Basically 23 minus 3 plus 13 in parentheses. And so these types of problems pop up a lot from time to time on Facebook and elsewhere. They generate a lot of different answers. So I want to kind of go through this here. Briefly, I will say that order of operations is a convention. It's been around for hundreds of years, and there's really four steps that you look at. Solve anything in parentheses, then you solve exponents, look for multiplication and division, solve those left to right. Multiplication and division have equal precedence, so you solve whichever one comes first as you go left to right. And then you look at addition and subtraction, and you look at those and you solve those left to right. Addition and subtraction have equal precedence as well. And again, if you don't have parentheses, you don't have exponents, order of operations still applies. It always applies. You just look at multiplication and division next. Yeah, I'm just saying that here that there's a lot of different mnemonics. I've got another video that goes into more detail, about PEMDAS and so on. Again, I mentioned the fallacy that people have, like, well, if there's no parentheses, you just go left to right, and that's never been taught that way. I don't know where that got started. I see hundreds and hundreds of people say that, but it's never been part of order of operations. It's in no textbooks. You can't find a textbook in the last 100 years that says that, so it's not true. Anyhow, just jump right into this example. I'll put a link to some other videos, another video about order of operations that goes into more detail. 23 minus 3 plus 13. So here we're going to solve what's inside the parentheses first. So 3 plus 13 equals 16. Don't forget now that the minus sign is applicable to the solution from inside the parentheses. So that leaves us with 23 minus 16 equals 7. Here's another example. I got another one here for you. 7 plus 4 times 4 minus 10 equals. Now this one's a little bit trickier. This one tricks people. This trips up the people who believe that if there's no parentheses, you just go left to right. I said I don't know where this came from, but basically, multiplication's nothing more than repeated addition. I talked about that more in another video, but think of it as shorthand for addition. So in other words, like I can write 7 plus 4 times 4 minus 10, or I can write it out as 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 minus 10. It's the exact same thing. I just took the multiplication and changed it over to addition. So for some people, maybe that's easier to try to figure it out and understand why you do not want to go left to right. You do not want to go 7 plus 4, which is 11, and then multiply that by 4. That gives you 44. 44 minus 10 would be 34. Like here we go. Already you can see that if we simply went left to right and ignored the order of operations, you would end up with an answer of 34. Just like I said, that's wrong. We ignored the shorthand for addition, which is called multiplication. Like I said, if you want to dumb the problem down, just get rid of the multiplication altogether in this problem and leave just the addition and subtraction. And when you do that, you'll get 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 minus 10, and that equals 13. So this is really why you cannot ignore the order of operations rules. Like I call them rules. It's really a convention more than a rule. But the reason why everybody agrees on this convention is so that all over the world, no matter if I speak French or German or Portuguese or Japanese, whatever, no matter where you're from, everybody's going to get the same answer. And I know some people want that convention to be left to right. They've got it in their head, but that's wrong. It's put in place so that people get the same answer. Um, some people think it comes natural to go left to right, but I've just shown you why that's That's really the wrong way to think. You got to think of multiplication as shorthand for addition. Um, so yeah, in order to get 34, to really get 34, you would actually have to add parentheses to the problem if you're going to do it right. But in doing so, you're changing the problem from what it was originally. So in order to get 34, what you'd have to do is you'd have to put parentheses around the 7 plus 4 and do that first, which would give you 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 times 4 is 44. 44 minus 10 is 34. But you can't just add parentheses wherever you want. Now, when I say that, what I mean is you cannot add them wherever you want where it changes the order of operations. There's nothing wrong with putting parentheses around the 4 times 4. It's redundant. It doesn't do anything for you, but it's not necessarily wrong. Because I've seen people like freak out if if I put parentheses around this 4 times 4 in the problem, they freak out like you can't do that. You're adding parentheses. You just told me I can't add them wherever I want. You can't add them in the problem where it changes the order of operations. Putting parentheses around multiplication in this problem, around the 4 times 4, does not change the order of operations. You're still doing the multiplication first. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Again, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to try to put a link. I've got a brief overview of order of operations. I'll put a link to that video. It has a little bit more info, but good luck. I hope this is helpful, and I hope this helps you figure it out.